Question number 2. What purchases or investments can I make to help reduce my 2024 tax amount or your 2024 taxes? All right, so that is a good question. A few things that you can do to ensure or help reduce your 2024 taxes is make sure that you are taking advantage of all of the initial deductions that are available to you. So, for example, if you are a W-2 person, you do not have a business or anything like that, make sure that you are writing off all of your appropriate charitable deductions. Make sure that you are writing off any of your, goodwill donations, those types of things. And sometimes, even with the goodwill donations, sometimes people donate a house of furniture and goods and clothing. And for that, you might need a special receipt from them, or sometimes you may have to have something appraised to get the appropriate deduction value. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're eligible to contribute to Roth IRA, a Roth won't actually help reduce your taxes, but if you're eligible to contribute to a traditional IRA, maybe making that contribution. There are a lot of people who have single income households, meaning maybe the wife doesn't work or the dad doesn't work because they're primary caretakers. Making sure that you're making those contributions on their behalf as well, if discretionary income allows, can also help reduce those taxable liabilities. We also have some clients who like to prepay some of their charitable contributions in advance. So depending on what they have going on in their lives financially, sometimes a client may come to us and say, hey, we're going to have a really large tax bill this year. Maybe they sold an investment. Maybe they had some unexpected money come through that's taxable. And they really need to figure out, hey, how can I eliminate my taxable liability on this money this year? Because next year, my income is going to be what it normally was, and maybe they're very much charitably inclined. They give a lot of money to charity. Sometimes we do a little charity stacking, so that could also be an additional option for you. Bottom line, make sure that you are working with someone who can help you understand the various tax brackets for the tax code and understand that, hey, certain income is taxed at this level. Another portion of your income is going to be taxed at this level. And figure out ways to bump those tax brackets down. The other thing, if you are a small business owner, real estate investors, you also have a plethora of other tools and techniques at your disposal to help reduce your taxable income. So make sure that you're looking at those. I actually like to tell people, it doesn't hurt you to look at your own previous year tax return and go line by line on that tax return, just to have an idea of what are some of the things that could be deductible. Just looking at your own tax return will tell you some of those things. And it could potentially jar your memory and say, oh, I forgot I had that expense. So make sure you're doing that as well. Then, of course, you have additional, more advanced techniques. Some people, like to participate in oil and gas deals, solar, as long as they're interested in investing in other people's projects and they're not trying to keep the money in their company to invest in their own company, they're willing to diversify and invest out. Those could also be some potential options for you. But of course, it is highly dependent on your risk tolerance, which is a pro tip that I want to talk about just a moment. Make sure that when you are investing in different products and services just to reduce your taxable liability, make sure you understand the risk involved with those investments. I don't think people do. I think people just think, oh my gosh, if I'm going to give this money away to the IRS, so I might as well invest it into this particular product or service. But in many times on the risk scale, those products and services that you may be investing in are considered very risky, very speculative. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're talking an 8 or a 9. There is a great chance that you may not receive any of that money back. So you want to make sure that you are investing according to your risk tolerance. You want to invest according to your risk tolerance. Because guess what? If that investment goes belly up, you won't have anyone to blame but yourself, because you invested in that product or service. It's not the person you're investing in job to help you vet that. It is your job, or your financial planner advisor's job, to help you vet that. So make sure you understand the risk before going into that investment. And remember, it is never a good idea to spend $1 just to save 40 cents on taxes. The average tax bracket, even for a business owner, is probably somewhere between 28 and 32%. So that means you're going to pay the IRS 32 cents on that dollar if you don't invest at all, versus you paying, this company all this money to take the deduction, and you lose the money anyhow. You would have been better off just paying the taxes. So just FYI.